Executive Suite with WPRI.com reporter Ted Nesi.
Welcome to Executive Suite. I'm Ted Nesi. Hope everybody is shoveled out by now. We're going to be talking about that today. Later on the show, we're going to hear from a South County entrepreneur who wants you to put coffee on your skin and says it has health benefits and is actually getting some attention from the Grammy Awards about that. So we're going to hear all about that. But right now on the show, I'm very pleased to be joined by Bernie Beaudreau. Bernie is the executive director of Serve Rhode Island, a nonprofit organization. We're going to talk about their work, including this week with the blizzard and more generally. Bernie, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
I know it's a busy week for you, especially,
Very
so
busy.
I appreciate you taking the time. So before we talk about what you guys have been doing with the blizzard and everything and your mission, can you just give people a quick thumbnail sketch? What is Serve Rhode Island? What is your organization?
Serve Rhode Island, really, we're the volunteer center for the state. We're also the State Commission for National Service, which means we administer the AmeriCorps program, which has been around for 20 years now. We are not a government agency. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, but we are the state commission to administer that program. In other states, the state commissions are part of state government, but we're one of about 5 or 6 states where we're independent of state government.
Oh, then is that good or bad, do you think? That
it's bad when you want the governor's attention. No, but we're getting the great attention from our governor, by the way. But no, the independence is good because as a nonprofit, you can run like a nonprofit organization and have some independence of a lot of different things. So we enjoy that.
You mentioned AmeriCorps. Sometimes some people might not be familiar with it. I've heard it described as Peace Corps for a domestic Peace Corps for the country.
Yeah,
how would you describe AmeriCorps?
Yeah, that's a simple explanation. It's 1,700 hours of service, which is about 11 months full time. And for that, the participants get a stipend, which is below a living wage, but it's meant to be a cost of a way to survive that year of service. And when they complete the service, they get an education award, $5,000 for paying for education, either the past bills or going back to school. So we have about 300 of those folks in our state right now, providing service for the community.
Now, people, I think, tend to think of AmeriCorps volunteers as kids just out of college often. Mm-hmm. Is everyone a recent college student, or is it a more mixed group?
It's more mixed. It does range from high teens to mid-20s as one big modality, and then we have even distribution sort of like in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and then we have some core members who are in 60s, like my age. And it's an attractive, like midlife kind of thing for people to do. Or even a retirement, a year of service. And we have a project in Woonsocket that is combining really retired folks working with elementary school kids, which is a nice cross-generational program.
You really go for volunteering. You even volunteered your age on television, which I'm impressed by. So let's talk about Bernie. Your organization has been in the news and the headlines a bunch this week with the big winter storm we just had because you were trying to organize and get people signed up to help shovel folks out who couldn't do it themselves, especially elderly and disabled people. How busy has it been with the amount of snow Rhode Island got?
Yeah, very busy. I mean, we started this program 2 years ago with the snowstorm we had in February of 13, and we helped about 124 residents. We're way past that number as of right now, and we'll finish up the week, I think, somewhere over 300 that will serve. We have currently almost 900 requests.
Wow.
And so the difficulty is going to be, who do we serve? And because we have only so many volunteers, a lot of our volunteers had to go back to work. And we're looking toward the weekend, which is Saturday being yesterday. We're hoping it's going to be really big to get it done. It's a great program. It's nothing like seeing this spirit of people just spontaneously come together. We have some people that drive all over the state with their plows and their snow blowers and shovels. We have a lot of college kids that were out of school for a day and they just pitched in and walking all over the city with shovels. It's been very good. It's a fair challenge to manage it logistically, and we do it using an online tool to combine the resident request and the volunteer availability.
So it sounds like you said, is that 900 requests outstanding when we're talking here? Is that total, including people?
Total. Start, yeah.
So, is the demand higher than the supply of volunteers, would you say, overall?
It is, and I think there are different perceptions about what the service is. I think some people think it's a government service, and they should be on the list. I think some people understand that it's a volunteer thing, but people see their own need as their priority, and not all the needs are sort of even. There are some folks that, as we speak, still can't get out of their houses. They have snowdrifts in the door, 90-year-old folks, and they're really stuck. They don't have any family or, the other thing we're encouraging, and you heard the governor say this a lot, is neighbors need to, look out for neighbors. And I think there could be a lot more of that to help the situation. But there are a lot of isolated folks, and that's why we started this service.
I saw Governor Raimondo repeatedly actually said, call Serve RI if you need help, or volunteer for Serve RI in her big press conferences. Also, Treasurer Magaziner actually did a shift. He posted a picture on Twitter that he was out there shoveling. Do you think that like extended discussion of Serve RI's work here by the governor is part of why it's up so much compared to the last storm?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The news media and promotion is huge, especially for generating the volunteer support. We would have no other way to do it. So we're thankful to the news media, the news stations for getting the word out. I think our messaging around if you're a resident in need, I think we can hone a bit more so that people realize it is really for the most in need. It's not, it's not a service that everyone can get. It's very volunteer dependent. In fact, if the best kind of storm is one that's on a Friday, so that clean out is on Saturday, and would have plenty of volunteers. But somehow I can't get the weather people to plan the storms that way.
Well, I'll have you stop by Tony Petrarca's desk on your way out. And before we go to a break, Bernie, if someone, whether it's this storm or in a future storm, if someone sees this and says, "Oh, I'd be willing to help out," what can they do if they want to take part and help out with the show?
Go to our website is the best thing. We have an online registration form. We do a minimum of a background check and a photo ID before we'll assign somebody. So for everyone's protection. So there's an online, go to our website, you can find the link, and then we get in touch with you and figure out when you're available and give you an assignment.
And that site is serverhodeisland.org?
That's right.
Serverhodeisland.org.
Yeah.
All right, so if your back can take it, get out there and help your neighbors out, or call Bernie's organization up. We're going to talk more about what Serve Rhode Island does when it's not snowing when we come back. Stick with us on Executive Suite. Welcome back to Executive Suite. I'm Ted Nisi, and we're talking in this post-blizzard conversation about Serve Rhode Island. Later on the show, you'll want to stick with us because we're going to hear about Java Skincare. They're infusing coffee into skin products down in South County and getting some national attention. So we're going to hear about that entrepreneurship story. But right now, I'm here with Bernie Beaudreau. He's Executive Director of Serve Rhode Island, which you may have heard has been helping organize volunteers to shovel out folks who can't do it themselves. He was telling me off air about a 100-year-old woman who called and said, I usually do it myself, but I might need help. We said, yeah, we'll come to you. So if you need that help, be sure to reach out to them. So Bernie, we don't want you guys are around all year, not just when it snows. National Service, AmeriCorps, which you work hard on, getting a lot of attention in recent years. What are the trends you're seeing? Are more people taking parts in those programs?
Well, when the Serve America Act was passed in 2008, President Obama had a vision for it growing fivefold. And as you may know, Congress has kept it flat funded. So we're a little disappointed that it did not grow fast or grow at all. The program has gotten more competitive. And so the way we get our programs funded in Rhode Island is that we get nonprofits with the capacity for managing an AmeriCorps program to apply for a competitive grant. And that happens in January every year. And about 4 years ago, we got like 6 out of the 8 grants we put in. And since then, it's been 1 or 2 that would put in. So it's been difficult to kind of keep it growing. We've had to invest a lot more skill and technology into these grants. We're partnering with Brown University, Taubman Center to help build in good evaluation models of these programs. And so I'm very optimistic this year's competition will be good and we'll do well. We have some monies called formula monies. It's $600,000 that the state, meaning the state commission, Serve Rhode Island, gets to determine where that goes and who gets funded. But the programs are great. I mean, they're helping kids before and after school, during school, tutoring, and college access programs. And there's a children's museum program, environmental education programs, really beneficial.
Now, when you talk about the funding and the president's goal of increasing it fivefold, which didn't happen, are there enough people interested to have done that, or to grow significantly more if there was funding there, or is it also there just aren't enough people who want to do it?
We found that, especially Rhode Island's unemployment rate being high and a lot of young people sort of not really getting into their career path, that there was huge demand, for the AmeriCorps positions that we had open. We had many applicants for it, and so there's lots of interest. And there's greater interest when the job situation is not as good. So as it's not great yet, there's still a lot of interest, and so we have to turn a lot of applicants away who want to be an AmeriCorps member.
And your revenue, your federal tax return for your organization shows it was $4.2 million in 09, $2.8 million in 2013. Is that those competitive grants is getting harder to get for each state?
Right. About $800,000 of that amount is sort of the Serve Rhode Island's organizational budget, and the other are the grants that we get. So the grants are really the variable. We've been pretty flat funded as an organization too, and people do think that we're a government agency and we don't need charitable contributions, and we certainly do. We need grants and we need contributions to really make our operation run well. But yeah, it's been a tough environment, and I wish Congress would invest much more into national service. Service is a great thing for people to experience. They tend to carry that service throughout the rest of their lives. And our first gentleman was in national service.
Andy Moffett, yeah.
Yeah.
Another interesting thing, when you look at the stats, Rhode Island's volunteerism rate actually usually ranks near the bottom of all the states. Now, we might all just be jerks in Rhode Island, but I mean, do you find that surprising? Why do you think that is? Well,
I've studied it now for about 8 years, and it really does relate to the health of our economy, the vibrancy of the labor force. And it's really counterintuitive, because you think if there were more people unemployed, then you'd have more people available to volunteer. It doesn't work that way. Basically, as people are economically and financially insecure, they're not in a position to feel free to volunteer. They are occupied, trying to get employed, trying to find ways to make money. So our economy and our high unemployment rate has worked against volunteerism in our state. But having said that, we've not done enough in our state to promote volunteerism, to see that as a vital part of our community. And I really am encouraging our new governor and our leadership, and I expect full support to embrace volunteerism and participation, in the community as a vibrant part of building a new economy. The value of someone's time is an economic value. So, and we can estimate that by the value of their time, and it's a huge economic benefit. And I did some calculations. Rhode Island ranks 42nd out of 50 states, and we're the last in New England. But if we had the volunteer rate that the rest of New England enjoys, we'd have another 50,000 people engaged in service in Rhode Island. So imagine that resource. And so in a way, we're denying ourselves, in terms of our own effort, our own energies. And there are all kinds of studies that prove that volunteering improves physical and mental health, especially of older folks. It's very important. And in our older population, we actually ranked dead last in terms of volunteerism of 65 and plus years. So there's real work to do there, and creative work to do with nonprofits that have to open their doors to volunteers. And a lot of them feel like they don't have the resources to do that and manage that well, but it's really important they do that.
All right, well, Bernie, that's all the time we have in this segment. Thank you so much. Maybe we'll all get out and look up some volunteering opportunities at home. Don't go away, though, because when we come back, we're going to hear from the CEO of Java Skincare about their products and why they're involved with the Grammy Awards. Stick with us on Executive Suite. Welcome back to Executive Suite. I'm Ted Nisi, and right now I'm pleased to be joined by Stephanie Additon. She's the CEO of Java coffee-infused skincare, or Java Skincare, and they were on my radar because their products are being put in the gift bags for the Grammy Awards, which is really cool. We're going to talk about that, but first, thank you for being here, Stephanie.
Oh, you're welcome.
Glad
it's my
you could
pleasure.
drive up. Be able to get out of South County despite this.
Just barely.
Just barely with the blizzard. You need Bernie in front of you.
Exactly.
So give us the thumbnail sketch. What do you do at Java Coffee-infused skincare?
So we have created an all-natural line of skincare that incorporates coffee into 4 products: bath wash, body scrub, body serum, and soap, into an all-natural, really beautiful product.
So is it basically you're like taking coffee grinds, I'm rubbing on my face? What's sort of the process to get the products out of the coffee?
Sure. Well, our signature ingredient is green coffee, and green coffee has the highest antioxidants of just about anything on the planet. So before coffee is roasted, it's green. And that's a process that we've created in our coffee roasting company. My husband actually is an artisan coffee roaster, and he's sort of figured out this way to harness the green coffee so that all of the antioxidants stay in there. So you're getting the maximum benefits. And then we infuse that into an organic argan oil and put it throughout the coffee. We also roast the coffee and use that process as well. So the grounds are definitely in the scrub and all over your body to exfoliate and moisturize your skin.
How long has it all been on sale? You've been selling these products?
The first products arrived in October of 2013.
Okay, a little over a year then.
A little over a year.
And what's the coffee shop? Because you and your husband owned a coffee shop, right?
We still do.
What's the coffee shop?
It's called Updike's Newtown Coffee Roasting Company.
Where?
It's in North Kingstown.
North Kingstown. Okay, maybe our viewers down there will recognize it.
Yes.
So tell me the story. I mean, you had the coffee shop.
Sure.
But you weren't planning to do skincare when you opened the coffee shop, right?
No.
So how do you get from brewing, a delicious cup to, I think this should be all over my face and my skin?
So about 5 years ago, it was a big deal that caffeine-infused products were coming into the market, but it was synthetically infused caffeine. So, I was traveling around and I was using this eye cream that was to die for, and it was coffee-infused or caffeine-infused, and I thought, there's got to be a way to make this that's all natural and has coffee. I've got coffee. I've got a ton of it here.
Right.
And so I started to do my research and worked with a few people and really came up with this beautiful way of incorporating coffee and green coffee into skincare. So you've got all the benefits. It tightens and tones your skin. It actually evens your skin tone.
So how long did it take you to get from the idea to actually having a product you could put out and sell and have safely and have the ads and all that?
Oh, sure. 2.5 years.
Wow, yeah.
And what was really cool is that we had our customers at Updike's who would come in and we would ask them to smell things and test products and try all the things that we were doing. So we had a really cool base of people who were excited for our products to come out. I wasn't certainly doing it by myself.
Guinea pigs down there in North Kingstown.
Exactly.
So where do you get the coffee that you use, and what's are you making it on site there? Do you make it somewhere? The skincare products, do you make them somewhere else? How does it all work?
So we source all of the coffee, and we get it from a farm in Guatemala that's Smithsonian certified. A Smithsonian certified coffee actually has the highest certification of any coffee. So it's organic, it's fair trade, it's bird friendly, it has really wonderful growing properties. And it's important for those properties to happen because then the antioxidants are there and the caffeine is there. We then bring it into our shop and we roast it, and we also create our green coffee extract. And then we have engaged a really amazing manufacturer who mixes for us and bottles. We knew when we started that we wanted this to be a product that had legs, and it was able to stand the test of other products in the market. So we went to a manufacturer with 30 years organic skincare experience to manufacture it for us.
So you knew you had to bring in some expertise on that front. And
Absolutely.
Everything. So it went on sale October 2013. How's business been? Starting, these are some tough spaces to be in. There's a lot of skincare competition. How's it been?
We've been really blessed. We have an amazing team of people around us who have helped to get the word out. When we started in October, we didn't have a store. We had Updike's that was selling it, certainly, but in the last 15 months, we're in 45 stores in 5 states. So we're all over Rhode Island. The Rhode Island community has been amazing to us. We're at Flaunt in the arcade. We're at Inspire Spa in Narragansett. Just really amazing high-end boutiques and spas all over. And we've moved out to New York, and now we're in Palm Beach.
So it's selling.
It's selling.
It's working. That must be very exciting. It's something you just thought of as you used it yourself, and now you have a product that people are buying and using.
It's fascinating. It's really, every time someone comes in to buy, a bath wash, I'm like, really? You love it? And they're like, this is my third bottle. I'm not just trying it for the first time. I've given it to all of my girlfriends. I've given it to my family. So it's really wonderful to have people enjoy it.
Now, we all hear the stories. Everyone says it's very difficult to start a business in Rhode Island, et cetera, et cetera. What was your experience starting? You already had one, of course, with the coffee shop, but starting this new business, doing that in Rhode Island, what was it like?
So certainly it's challenging. However, Rhode Island has a lot of amazing and creative and smart people, and I swear to God they all come to our coffee shop because I have had the best mentors and support system and advice. And so as difficult as it is to sort of get the word out, Rhode Island can also be a really amazing place because we stick together and we know one another, and there are relationships that we've developed, and they are the ones who carry our message. And so I have been incredibly blessed and grateful. And the team that we have around us is just awesome.
So tell me about the Grammy Awards. You're going to be in the gift bag. So,
yes.
Taylor Swift, Beyonce, those kind of people, they're going to get your products. How did this come about?
Oh, yeah. So Red Carpet Events LA is a group out in California who prepare swag bags for different award shows. And what ends up happening is you submit your product to them, and they get between 300 and 400 different products per event. So they're doing the Grammys. We submitted, and 25 were chosen, and we were one of the 25,
wow,
which is super exciting. So we are putting our products in the swag bag, so the presenters and the nominees all will receive it on Grammy night. But what's very cool is we get to go, and 2 days before the Grammys on Friday, we'll be doing an in-person event with celebrities, influencers, and stylists, and we'll be giving out our product to another 250 influencers out there in California at the W Hotel Beverly Hills.
Very fancy. That's awesome. So
yes,
they're getting a couple of them, right? A little, it's sort of a gift bag kind
Absolutely.
of thing?
So we wanted them to have the full experience, so we created a discovery kit, as we call it. And it will have all 4 products, a sample of each. And what's really fun is if you want that Grammy experience, you'll be able to come to our retailers and pick up one of those bags, but they're not going on sale until the Grammy weekend. Until
after the Grammys, all right. So very briefly, only about 15 seconds left. If someone's interested but not sure they're ready to buy all 4 products, what's the best starter product of the 4?
The bath wash.
The bath wash.
And what's really amazing is that we didn't want you to smell like a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So it has this amazing sweet almond oil scent that's to die.
All right, well, you'll have to try that. What a great story. Thank you so much for being with me, Stephanie Additon, Java Coffee. See you next week on Executive Suite.